Hey gang, there's this guy I subscribe to on YouTube. He's an American guy that lives in Thailand and he loves it, but of course no place is perfect and he's a completely honest dude. So he just did this video called 8 Things I Don't Like About Thailand, and it was really interesting because I thought a lot of the things he talked about apply to the Philippines and some of them are very different. So I thought it'd be fun to compare, and let's get to it. The first thing he says is he doesn't like the treatment of wild animals in Thailand. He gives examples of elephants being beaten, people doing Muay Thai against orangutans, and this is really deplorable coming from a Western way of thinking. And now I know in the Philippines, a lot of the times they also don't really respect animals or other lives. For instance, you will walk around neighborhoods and you'll see dogs tied up to short leashes, starving, or in really cramped cages, really living in deplorable conditions. It's really torture, and it's like their owners don't even think that that's not the right way to treat an animal. Now I have to say, the cockfighting in the Philippines doesn't offend me. I've been to a cockfight, they don't seem like they suffer, and chickens are almost like a sacred animal in Filipino culture for whatever reason. Chickens are usually treated very good, unlike dogs and other types of animals. Chickens, they're allowed to roam free, they're well fed, especially the ones that are bred for fighting. They get good nutrition and they're worked out like a professional athlete. And I know Westerners would say, well, if they really love and care about these birds, why do they make them fight to the death? Well, it's hard to explain. It's just very different culturally in terms of the way of thinking of that. Another thing he mentions about Thailand is Thai people not wanting to speak English. And he speaks Thai, but a lot of Thai people don't want to approach him because they're intimidated, because they think, oh, I'm going to have to speak English, and it's not something they want to do. And Filipinos pride themselves on how good they speak English, and they like to brag about it. But there is this thing that's very pervasive these days in Filipino culture where Filipinos will shame other Filipinos that speak English, especially if they speak English very well and very Americanized. They'll say, oh, they think they're maarte, meaning that they think they're being fancy and trying to show off and act cool and being pretentious and that kind of thing. And that's really a shame that people would do that to their fellow countrymen just for being well-spoken and educated people. He also mentions that there's a lot of political problems in Thailand that he doesn't like. Now, if you talk to any Filipino, generally their #1 complaint about the country is the corruption and political turmoil of this country. Now, I have to say, as an outsider, as a guest, it doesn't really affect my life, especially if someone's going to come to the Philippines just for a vacation as a tourist. It's not going to affect the amount of fun that you have in the Philippines at all. So it shouldn't be an issue for people visiting. He also talks about what he calls the money-hungry nature of many Thai people. And in the Philippines, of course, there's a lot of snatchers and a lot of petty crime, trying to get money out of people always. But I have to say, I really don't think that that's that bad in the Philippines, at least not compared to Thailand. I hear a lot of guys that have lived in Thailand complaining about that, and I just don't think that it's that bad in the Philippines. I think most people in the Philippines are generally very friendly and just very genuine, sincere people. Now, of course, you have to be careful of friendly people, especially if they're too friendly. They might be trying to get something out of you, so just be careful. And the last thing that he talks about is the racism in Thailand against people from other countries. And I have to say, in the Philippines, you don't really experience that, especially at least if you're a white person. I can't speak on the behalf of black people or other races, but coming to the Philippines as a white person, they're very friendly, very welcoming. They're going to want to talk to you and say, hi, where are you from? He also mentions in Thailand being referred to as foreigner a lot. And now that's something that happens in the Philippines. They call people of other races foreigner. And in America, that wouldn't be done. You couldn't just throw that around so liberally. I know they don't mean anything by it, but in America, you can't just see a Filipino person say, hey there, foreigner, or something like that, or constantly refer to people as foreigners that are of other races, even if they are foreigners And even if you don't mean anything by it, it's very different culturally. Thankfully, because a lot of people know who I am these days, whether it's from TV, YouTube, or whatever, a lot of people say, "Hi, Travis," when they see me, or maybe I'll get, "Hi, adobo manak," right? I get that a lot, but I don't get that, or in the Philippines, they like to call foreigners Joe. Thankfully, I don't get that much these days. But he also mentions ladyboys. I forgot to mention this. He doesn't feel totally comfortable with all the ladyboys. Not that he hates them, but here's the thing. If you're going to live in this part of the world, it's something that you just got to deal with, and I don't think it's a big deal. It just comes with the territory, man. So what do you guys think? Leave me a comment and let me know what's on your mind, and we'll talk about this. And until next time, have fun with the ladyboys.